So, writing prompts, do you use them? Have you ever? Maybe now's the time to give it a try since Camp Nano is upon us. Let's get into it. So what constitutes a writing prompt? It could be anything. A line from a newspaper article, a line from a magazine, something you've overheard out at the grocery store one day. Maybe you've overheard a couple talking in a restaurant, and that might turn into a story idea in your head. It's usually something somebody supplied to you. You'll find a lot of them online. Just look up writer's prompts and writing prompts, and you'll find dozens. You say you've heard that writing prompts don't work. I've heard that too, but I think what the claimant means is that they just didn't work for them. If a complaint is made that the prompt didn't give enough information, I think what the person needs to remember is that it's just an idea to get you started. You are the one that will supply the character's reason for being in that situation or saying that certain thing or reason to what they're going to walk into. Take, for instance, the famous line, "Baby shoes never worn," that supposedly Ernest Hemingway first wrote. Some people will read that sentence and think, "Ah, how sad," but I look at it as we don't know the reason why those baby shoes were never worn. What if it was something like this? Now I'm going to read. Mary looked through the baby's room and knew she had to get rid of some of this stuff. It was hard, though, because her friends and in-laws had given her so much of it at the baby shower. Still, she boxed it all up and wrote out an ad, at the end of which she wrote, "And baby shoes never worn." Before she printed it off, at the end of which she wrote, "And baby shoes never worn," before she printed the ad off for the classifieds. However, little Johnny cried from the other room. Mary rose from her chair, exhausted. "It's okay, baby," Mary said. "I'm coming." She moved the box out of her path and picked the boy out of his crib. "Oof, you're getting bigger every day." She dressed him in a size 3 onesie and put socks on him and shoes that might fit a 1-year-old, except that he was only 2 months old. And the baby shoes that her friends had bought for them, she hadn't done more than try on him once to find out they were too small. Finished dressing him, she kissed the top of his head. "Come on, sweetie, let's go. Mommy needs to take these ads to the newspaper office so we can afford you some new shoes." Or perhaps you could do something like this. Sally looked around the baby's room and knew she had to get rid of some of his stuff. It was hard, though, because her friends and in-laws had given her so much of it. Still, she boxed up it all with her other unused things and wrote out an ad, at the end of which she wrote, "And baby shoes never worn," before sticking the ad into her purse to take to the classifieds office. Just then, her little angel cried. "It's okay, Leslie, I'm coming." Sally moved the box out of the path and picked the girl out of her crib. She was small and slender, maybe too small for her age, but she was otherwise healthy. "Mommy is going out. Would you like to go for a walk?" She stopped herself before saying the word walk. Instead, she hummed a lullaby as she gently put woolen socks over Leslie's feet. The toes turned so far inward, Leslie whimpered as the wool slid over them. Finished dressing the baby girl, Sally kissed the top of her head. "Come on, sweetie. Mommy needs to sell these." She hoisted the box under her other arm, "So we can afford those special shoes you need." Voila! Out of one prompt, you get a whole story. Here's another one. that came from a prompt. House of Dark Envy, my gothic romance novel that I released a couple of years ago, came simply from a prompt that said, write a story that takes place at a Halloween party. That became the beginning of this book, and now you see it's an entire novel. And the scene is only, the prompt only constitutes one scene in the book. Oh shoot, I didn't get the other one down. I gotta get the other one down. Here's another that came from a prompt. In this case, I took this prompt and made it the basis for my 2013 mystery romance novel, Murder on Upon a Midnight Clear, where the heroine had to track down a bad Santa. I've even used lines from previous manuscripts as prompts for other novels and stories. For instance, a scene that I wrote into Iron Paws and the Tinker's Forged Marriage didn't end up making its way into the manuscript. However, it does exist in the current draft of the third book in this series. About halfway through the book, I was finally able to fit it in. But that one scene prompted the entire third book. So that's another way you can use them. And actually, this book, Witch's Wood, came from a picture prompt. I was poking around online one day trying to decide what the antique was going to be in this new novel as I was plotting the book out, and I came across a picture of old witches' brooms. Well, how does that tie into the story? You'll have to read Witch's Wood and find out. So yes, you can even use pictures as prompts. I do it all the time. So no, the prompt isn't supposed to write the whole story for you. It's just meant to set your imagination free and let it run wild. Give it a try. Leave me a comment below. Have you used prompts before? Do you enjoy them or do you hate them? Thanks for watching, and good luck with your writing.